Hey guys, it's Hightower
and Poltergeist for Direwolf Airsoft,
and today we're going to go over Airsoft Essentials. As we mentioned in our previous video, hiking boots, they're really important. We use them for indoor and outdoor on our team, mainly because of the terrain that we deal with. Sometimes we have to go up hills, sometimes we're just playing on a flat surface. The great thing about hiking boots is most of them are waterproofed. Some even have a little bit of thermal insulation on them. We've got our low size or low cut, which don't really protect the ankle as much, so if you do have to go up, a more inclined terrain, may affect the ankle a little bit. So here we've also got the mid, and one thing that's great about all hiking boots is they've got a really good tread pattern. With the mid as well, you get a really good ankle support. If you need something a little more than just ankle support, you've got these really high cuts. Again, very good tread, so if you do have to go up kind of higher inclined areas or even like a rock face, you're going to get some good grip and you're able to push off and maybe hold still to where you want to be.
Also, if you have a heavier kit, you're going to want the additional ankle support to help you preventing rolling just on any terrain.
Next up, we've got gloves. From gloves, you can go from the cheapest to the most expensive. What we find, or what most people find, is these mechanics wear gloves are kind of the middle ground. You get a good amount of protection. It's kind of a thinner material, but you're protecting your hands from that BB. You're not going to get pock marks all over your skin, and there's a little bit of dexterity there, not too much. Or you can go these really thin gloves. These aren't going to protect your hands nearly as much, but you've got that dexterity that you may need to maybe grab mags or grab your sidearm. If you want full dexterity, I don't suggest anything that covers your fingers at all. You've got these fingerless gloves, which would be perfect. Only problem is if it's maybe a rainy day or if it's cold or snowy outside, you're not going to be able to protect your fingers. You're going to have really cold, kind of clammy joints in your hands that don't want to move as much. One thing that we mentioned before that's really important in these games are red rags and ways to let the opponent know that you've either been shot or you're out of the game. Real basic during the day, you've got your red rag. You wave it, you're hit. A couple forms of red rags, or you can buy, these cleaning towels from an AutoZone or a car maintenance store. Also lights. When you get to the nighttime games or these indoor games where you really can't see if someone's got a red rag or if they're waving something, lights are perfect. These V lights, which people put on their helmets or on their kit, you turn them on or off, they're great. This would be the next step. It's again another one of those stick lights. You kind of wave it if you're hit. Everyone sees it. Or you've got these snap lights. Only issue with the snap light is once it's snapped, it's going to be on for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so.
Longer than that. You're looking at 7 to 8 hours, but the thing is you have to then try and hide the light when you're back in gameplay, otherwise people will think that you're still dead.
So you snap it, once you're back in, you throw it in your dump pouch, and that's it. Communications. At these bigger games, maybe not your Friday night or your Saturday morning games, you definitely want to be in some form of communication with your team or the squad you're playing with. The great thing about communications, you've got something just as basic as a hand walkie-talkie to something you can hook up to headsets with push-to-talks. One thing that's great about some of these more advanced hand walkie-talkies is you can have different channels. Maybe a private channel for your team or one for the full squad.
One other option on the radios you have is these little in-ear mics where it just slips right around. You've seen these in the movies with people using them. The only issue with those, you don't get the added protection you get from these. These guys wrap around, they give you full ear protection, so you're not getting any BBs in your ears. It hurts, trust me. You get that with these or a mesh style ear protection. Continuing on from the ear protection, we got these mesh style masks. Protect your face, keep yourself from getting hit in the face, which is painful, trust me, and keeps your teeth from getting chipped. Hightower here's got one that clips into your helmet. This style's got the back strap, so you don't need a helmet, you can put it right on. We then have the mouth guard, which is great for outdoor games where your engagement distance is going to be longer. Also lets you get your cheek right down on your rifle so you can aim down sights. The mask kind of obstructs that. You'll have issues getting your eyes right behind the optics to take a look.
But the big plus of the mask is unlike the mouthpiece, you are covering your mouth, so you're not going to walk away with potential, bloodied lip or maybe a swollen mouth or anything like that.
Marks on your face don't go over well at the office. Moving on from the face protection, we have the shooting glasses. These are OPM frames. They have the full seal insert kit. Makes them full seal. Make sure BBs aren't going to bounce around from the outside or come in from an odd angle to hit your eyes. It's important. These are really popular in the airsoft community right now. Larger goggles, your traditional. As you can see, they got a lot more width to them. You're going to have, again, the same issues that with the mask aiming down sights. So you gotta consider what you're going for with your goggles. Continuing with the full seal goggles, we have a turbofan insert here. This has a little fan in here, this guy, that will be spinning and actually pulls the moisture out of your goggles, preventing fog up, which is a big problem. We have all sorts of brands we use. We use spray, there are creams, little wipes. Fogging is an issue in the sport, and you got to make sure that you keep your eyes, so you can see, because you don't want to be that guy in the field not able to see anything.
Yeah, one thing that kind of differentiates between, the full seal where you're connected all the way around your face, and the ones with just these inserts is, yes, they are goggles, yes, they do protect, but because there is a lens there, it does create some kind of a moisture, and you do get some kind of fogging. We run into issues where guys have had to kind of go into corners, pull them away, and wipe and clean themselves off, obviously when it's safe, but that's something you don't want to have happen. That's why we bring up these lens protectors and fog defenders or whatever.
For folks that want the full seal protection and a mask without having to deal with the mesh issue, you can also go with a full seal style mask where it's got the face protection built in. This is a great way to start out if you're new to airsoft, or even if you're a long-term vet and you want that protection and assurance. The full seal mask is a good way to go. While we're on iPro, you got to make sure you have appropriate iPro. This is not appropriate iPro. These are safe. Last thing on iPro, make sure they're appropriate. This is not appropriate eye protection. They're not full seal. They're not safe for the airsoft battlefield. These are great for a machine shop, which is where I picked them up, but it's not something you want to be trying to wear to protect your eyes, which are definitely one of the most important organs you have, so protect them.
One thing you got to be aware of too is on the airsoft field, you've got projectiles flying at you, hopefully around 300 to 350 feet per second. With this on your face, there's nothing to protect under, and who knows what angle they may be shooting from, either really low or really high. That's why Poltergeist said they're not safe at all. Don't even think of bringing them on the field.
Last thing on the protection side, knee pads. Knee pads are a must. As you'll see from the pictures showing your screen right now, knee pads protect you from all sorts of injuries, whether it's a slip and fall, kneeling on a rock. You need to have some kind of protection on your knees. They take a lot of abuse. This guy right here goes right over your pants. Here, in the combat pants, they actually have a built-in spot for the knee pad. It's got a cushion in here and a hard surface. These are fantastic and comfortable to wear. It's protection that you want and you need. Some
pros and cons though is, the good thing about these is, let's say you're playing outdoors and you don't really need to take a knee as much, or you don't really want to wear knee pads. You can take these off. They're velcroed in, and I think some have buckled, but you strap them on, you take them on and off, and you can shift them to be more comfortable. They're built into your pants, so wherever you are going, these are going. There's going to be no slip at all. Some issues we have at the end of the game is you're tired of pulling your knee pad up, you're tired of having that really bad red rash mark right behind your thigh or calf. So these are perfect for that. One thing is you have to make sure when they're adjusted they stay exactly where they are, but wherever you go, these knee pads are going, these could essentially just be taken off.
Moving on from protection, other accessories we need, slings. This guy right here is convertible between a 1-point sling and a 2-point sling, but slings are great for those longer gameplay where you're going to have an issue with being on the field for a while. Your arms will get tired. Here we have a 1-point sling, easily detachable, so if you need to set your gun down, you can do that. Moving on from the one and convertible, we have a 2-point sling right here, as you can see on this 416. Slings, you gotta have them. You'll be exhausted by the end of the game if you don't.
And like the 1-point sling we just showed you, is the great thing about those is you can work them into your kit. This one is actually integrated within Witt's kit, so where this thing isn't going to slide on him. He's not going to get a chafe mark around his neck. Whereas some other, slings, it's just on the gun. You unfortunately can't take that off the gun as easily as you could a one-point sling. One last thing I want to talk about for Airsoft Essentials are lights. Whether you use them for communication reasons or just to see where you're going. Sometimes you're going into a room that's really dark, or sometimes you're playing in a game that may go a little later at night, so sunlight doesn't help you out anymore. In most cases, you'll see people with lights on their guns, but that's not the only option you have. Just a hand light can be good enough. If you're walking around with a pistol, or if you're not at the ready to maybe attack your opponent, you can just have a light. If you need to read something, maybe directions on where to go, or
maps, look around a room that you've already cleared, just need to look around the room. A hand light's fantastic to give
turn
you
it
that
on,
mobility.
check a corner, turn it off, stow it away. It's good enough.
On the lights, they have these PEC boxes that have a light and a laser built into them. It's a good option if you want to go that laser route as well, but the light is really the key point that you need to have on you, especially for these longer ops or night ops.
Thanks again for giving us a watch.
Be sure to subscribe, like us, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We've got the social media covered.